My name is Jack Partlow and I'm with Partlow Funeral Chapel. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this final video in our series on what to expect after your loved one passes. In this video, we'll be covering some of the things you can do to begin the healing process in the days to months after the funeral service and other affairs are finalized. Loss of a loved one can be one of the most difficult experiences we face in life. And each one of our experiences is different, and how we cope with grief is different. And in this video, we just wanted to kind of give a brief overview of some things that may help in the days and months following the conclusion of the funeral ceremony and dealing with that grief and that loss of your loved one. In this video, some of the topics we'll cover include grief and coping strategies, finding support and resources, as well as moving forward and celebrating the life of your loved one. The word grief can mean so many different things to so many different people. In our society, a lot of times grief is kind of frowned upon, or it's not seen as something that should be shown. And I think this is the furthest thing from the truth, because grief is a natural process that we all go through when we lose someone, and it affects each person differently. Some people grieve immediately following the loss of a loved one, while others it may take days, months, even longer for the realization to kick in and for you to feel the full effects of that grief. With grief, there's quite a few different strategies that some people employ to help overcome that. And I think coming to the realization that grief is okay and it's normal is a huge part, and really just taking time to go through those emotions and grieve that loss can help a ton in eventually overcoming that loss. Some other things people may take part in include finding a counselor or therapist, and that can come in the form of a professional counselor or therapist, or it could just be a friend that you talk to and just let them know how you're feeling. People also take part in support groups, and that kind of leans into more of the friend side of someone to talk to. So there are many support groups that meet in the area, and we hope eventually to begin a support group of our own to help those that are grieving. Another way that people may find helpful to overcome grief is through self-care. And self-care can include anything from like a daily exercise habit to just being mindful of the way that you're feeling that day, and taking it easy on yourself, and just considering yourself as you go through your day-to-day life. Although grief is something that we each experience individually, I don't think overcoming grief is something that we need to try to do by ourselves. And that's why I think finding support and resources is such a huge part of the days and months following and eventually overcoming that grief. And support and resources can come in many different ways. A lot of people find that just having a strong support system in their family and friends to talk to on a day-to-day basis really helps overcoming that loss. Other people who may not have family and friends close by may lean on a support group that meets locally, or a grief share that meets locally. And even other people may lean on online communities to communicate with and share their experiences. And that's one of the great things that's come about with a lot of the online groups is support groups and grief support through the internet and online communities. In addition to some of those local and online support groups, you can visit our website, partlowchapel.com, and we have a list of grief website resources that you can go to and find different articles and advice and tips on ways to overcome your grief. And if you just need someone to talk to, or just need someone to help point you in the right direction of a resource that you could use to overcome your grief and just to talk to someone, feel free to contact us here at Partlow Chapel, and we'll help in any way we can. One of the main issues with trying to overcome grief is trying to live life after the loss of someone and after that person that has been such an integral part of your life is no longer there. They may have been part of every routine you had throughout the day, and in the case of a spouse that you could have been married to for 50, 60 years and really not known life without them, and trying to create a new life without them there can be really difficult. So one of the huge aspects with overcoming grief is just establishing new routines and trying to structure a new life without that person present. And a lot of people find that just setting small goals each day, whether that be just to try a new place or talk to a different person, or even surrounding yourself with different people, new friends or old friends that you may not have spoken to in a while. Just trying to incorporate friends and different people in your life to kind of try to fill that void and create a new experience and a new routine to your life. You could also include maybe an exercise routine or a group or a class, just anything to kind of throw you off maybe what you did when your loved one was around, and just establish a new routine. Another way that many people find helpful to overcome grief is by making sure that they feel that their loved one was celebrated and honored. And a lot of people do this through funeral ceremonies and different types of memorial services, but I think this can continue even past those funeral services and memorial services. And maybe you just set something up each day, maybe just a little something that you do to make it known in your mind that that person still matters to you, you still love them, and even though they're not here with you, that you still remember them and you honor them. And this can be on a daily basis, or maybe you do something once a year around their birth date or their death date, just to signify the impact they had on your life and the effect they had on your life and the impact they continue to have on your life and that love you had for them. So those are just some of the different tactics and resources that you can rely on to try and overcome the grief and the loss that you'll experience in the days and months following the conclusion of the funeral ceremony. Although this has been a very brief video and a brief overview, the truth is that grief and loss will just take time to overcome, and it's different for each person. And really the main thing is just to try to lean on people that you love and lean on the support group that you have around you, and be patient with yourself, and just look for ways each day that you can honor and remember your loved one while also continuing to live life and structure new routines and new ways of living. We hope you've enjoyed this video series. As we said, this is the last video in this series titled What to Expect After Your Loved One Passes. We hope to do many more videos in the future, and we would love your feedback on this video series as well as any other topics that you want covered. If we covered any topics in this video that you want us to dial in more on or give a better explanation on, we would love any feedback that you guys could give us. And like I said, we do hope to continue making more videos on different topics and just educating you guys on the funeral business and funeral service by and large, and just what to expect when a loved one does pass. So hopefully that you're a little bit better equipped to handle that difficult situation. Otherwise, we appreciate you watching this video and any future videos you watch, and we hope you have a great day.